Good evening. Happy birthday to Shift. Happens to be. So we're gonna do our usual little type of stream, and then in a couple of hours, we will head over to Shift's channel. Birthday bash. Hey, panel birthday. Oh, I will drop my own link as well. Hey, Tiki. Shift happens. She's having a birthday bash in a couple of hours. So we need to go bash her on her birthday. So I'm gonna stream here until then and then go hang out over there. Also, I'm gonna drop the link. All right, there you go. Open panel, dancing, vibes, conversation, art, good art. Even okay, we're pretty bar for art around here is pretty low. I get excited just about avatars, so anything creative. Creative and reasonably tasteful by YouTube standards. All right, let's see what happened in the world today. I haven't looked yet. We seized a tanker off the Venezuela coast. That is the only major story that I see. Okay, well, there's the world. The um, I'm not familiar with Nick Fuentes. Pops up peripherally in some of the circles I'm in. I still can't believe anybody takes him seriously. He's like snafu to me. I don't know why people even pay attention to a word that comes out of his mouth. But for some reason, they don't have the ability to filter him, and they take him. They have his words make meaning to them or something, and so I can't even get over that. But he shows up in some of my political communities, and I guess there's a civil war on the right, the MAGA civil war between the loyal Trump supporters and the people that want to take the party in a different direction because Trump's only there for 3 more years. He's not going to be the head of the party forever. And so some people have different ideas for post-Trump MAGA, and some people want to just keep MAGA going the same way. And Nick Fuentes somehow plays into that. I don't know why or how, but I'm probably on whatever side is not the Nick Fuentes people are not on. Is that because there's this is a big barrier for me, the psychology of really stupid people. I can't make an image of my mind of how they're seeing the world. But are there that many people that are stupid enough to take well, my generation was Alex Jones. I never thought people would take Alex Jones seriously, but they did. And those TV preachers. Like not the ones trying to inspire people spiritually, but the send me your money and I'll send you a prayer cloth and that kind of stuff. So I kind of watched stupid people get scammed all the time. And I've been scammed before. I'm not necessarily excluding myself. I can be convinced of some pretty stupid things. But you're saying generationally, the number of people that are somehow his message is penetrating to. I don't even know what his message is. Oh. Yeah, what I am hearing, they're kinda saying that what the woke did on the left, there's something on the right, some authoritarian movement on the right that's waiting to capture the right, and but I don't think it's gonna have the institutional power that the woke does, because the left captured legitimate institutional power, and then it kind of got infiltrated by the woke wing at some point, but they were already working off of existing power that they had claimed for themselves institutionally and systemically. Oh my god! I love Tammy Faye. You know she's a gay icon. I don't know how, but she ended up being a gay icon. I've watched a couple of her documentaries. I've developed an appreciation for Tammy Faye. Let me just say that. I won't go so far as to say I love her, but she's good at what she does. She's really good at getting you to believe in a dream and in her personality, whether she believes that or not. But that's kind of like here on YouTube and the panelverse and everything. Where all of us we're all here getting you to believe in us as a personality on YouTube. You don't know how much of that we actually believe. Hey, Helena, I can sit up here and say I believe all of mine. I live it out every day, or I try to. But even that could be like, how much of that do I really believe? But I'm no Tammy Faye. I can tell you that. I guess I'm naive. I get screwed. I get screwed by this all the time. But I am very naive about my faith in humanity, in their intelligence, their goodness, their better nature, their ability to overcome and problem solve and progress. Am I familiar with David Duke? I am from Louisiana. I was around for the Edwin Edwards, David Duke election, where two-thirds of the state or three-quarters of the state, something, rejected a white supremacist as governor. And this was back in 92, 93. That's how not racist were in the deep South in 93. So somehow to think the racism's gotten worse. Oh, okay. Because even in Louisiana, hardly anyone took him seriously except for the actual racist. And he had this little network of funders that kind of kept him going. So Nick could be more astroturfed or propped up and just made to look bigger than he actually is, unless there's that many racists. And I'll tell you another thing muddying the issue is are, I think it's more cultural than racial, and we see this in Europe too. But people can frame that or pass that off as race. So it could be that Gen Z, it's a cultural friction that's being framed as a racial friction, even to Gen Z themselves, so that they come to equate certain shades of skin color with certain cultural values that they don't want as part of their society. Just kind of the same way the woke did with men and masculinity. They just made it all evil. And so that anybody that had any kind of problem with men or masculine had a built-in template to like grieve against. You actually read David Duke's book? Wow. If they'd focus on culture and not race, but they can't ever help themselves. They always seem to slip into race. And with Fuentes, I believe it's because isn't he Mexican? Part Mexican. Um, isn't it more like anti-Semitism? Oh, interesting, Mr. P. Well, perhaps you will have to come up and tell us about it. Did I drop the link? I think I did. You're being sarcastic, right? I tell you what, before any about this, let's check in with Charlie and get kind of a baseline AI understanding of because I don't know a lot about him. I've seen a few clips. I've seen videos of people that do talk about him. PF Young does streams on him a few times. He's kind of interested in him. I'm not trying to shut down an argument. I'm saying I'm very surprised that Mr. P is where this argument is coming from. But I do want to hear from Charlie first. Let's see. All right, Charlie, we got one for you tonight.
All right, bring it on. I'm ready for whatever you've got. Let's dive
Well,
in and see what tonight's puzzle or topic is.
what we got is Nick Fuentes, and I don't know a lot about it, so we just need like a basic layperson's understanding of what he's about, his positions, and why he's controversial.
Absolutely. So, in a nutshell, Nick Fuentes is a far right political commentator and online personality who's known for his pretty extreme views. He originally got a following through live streams and commentary, and he tends to align with white nationalist and far right ideologies. In terms of why he's controversial, it's mainly because he's been associated with promoting or amplifying racist, anti Semitic, and other discriminatory views. He's been involved in a number of controversies around those topics, and he's been banned from various social media platforms because of it. So basically, he's a figure that draws a lot of attention because of those far right positions and the kind of controversy that comes along with them.
In your opinion, is it more the race or the anti-Semitism?
From what I've seen, it's kind of both. He's definitely drawn a lot of controversy for making remarks that are explicitly anti Semitic, and he's been associated with events or groups that have those leanings. At the same time, there's a racial element in a lot of his rhetoric that focuses on ideas of preserving a certain kind of American identity that's tied to race. So it's really that combination of both racial and anti Semitic views that makes him controversial. Different
Isn't he
people.
Mexican?
Yeah, it's interesting because he does have a Hispanic background. His last name is Fuentes, and he has mentioned his Mexican heritage. And that sometimes throws people off because they wonder how someone with that background can hold these kinds of views. But ultimately, he's chosen to align with ideologies that are still pretty exclusionary, regardless of his own heritage. So it's one of those complexities that adds another layer to why he's controversial and why people talk about him.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay. Mr. P, is any of that what you agree with? That's kind of what I have heard him make some the anti-Semitic comments. That I've heard my own ears. The racial stuff I don't know too much about. Cause he's sensational. He brings numbers. I'm sure anybody. I mean, I could probably make the podcast circuit as a gay autistic Satanist if I spun it enough and was controversial enough. So just the fact that he's on major podcast alone to me is not enough to take him seriously. Oh, okay, cool. We'll get to hear it. Oh, let me put my griftathon on. Griftatron. For all of those that currently don't support me and would like to continue not supporting me, that's the Cash App. It's changed to Club Exile, so don't use the old one. That's the Cash App you cannot support me at, and the Ko-Fi link, and something else. I guess that's it. All right. Hey, Sophia. How are you? We were talking, for some reason we got on the topic of Nick Fuentes and what's happening on the right. And Mr. P might come up and my facial hair? It's the same facial hair I've always had. Thank you, Not Lost. Does it look better than yours? Oh, good, Sophia. I hope so. So Mr. P is going to come up in a bit, and he is I guess, a Nick Fuentes sympathizer. So he's going to explain. He's going to make the case for Nick. Oh, you got okay. Oh, sure. All of you were you were looking in the mirror. Okay. Well, too bad we can't see it, Not Lost. Because you don't come on a panel or cam up. This is why you're a better person than I am. Because I don't care about the younger generation. I've just kind of written them off. Not so much written them off, but they have to find their own way the same as we had to find our own way. And the ones that I can be helpful to, I try to be, but not many of them. In fact, I did looked at my analytics the other day. The demographics for this channel are 45 to 55. So it's the older Gen Z. So it's not a kids channel. It's not high energy. It's old people sitting around talking about the good old days and random topics. So I intersect with Gen Z very little, and I'm not motivated to care much about things that remote from my immediate interest. So it is good that people like you are out there keeping an eye on it. And I used to teach. Even when I taught, I didn't really care what the kids' politics were. All right, I can't wait to get into this.
What's up, dude?
What is up? So you like the racist, anti-Semitic? You said some of the things he has to say.
So it's funny because you can tell how the programming of AI is and who programs him based on that response, because he's not anti-Semitic, he's anti-Zionist. Big difference. So he doesn't mind Jewish people. He's
That's what I'm wondering, if
Zionism.
it's the Zionism that's
That's
galvanizing
what it is.
people around him, not so much the racism.
Exactly. And he don't get me wrong, he's a shock jock, so he said some outrageous racist things, but it's not like he actually I mean, like his last name is Fuentes. He's not like, but he's like basically considers himself white and is like pro-white in terms of like, he's only going to be marrying somebody white or whatever, even though like his sex life is known to be like not very good, but
Weren't there like gay things with him and Destiny?
I actually don't know a lot of his past history. I've seen a lot of like content, but I'm kind of like meeting him today, and I think like
So you're coming fresh to him. You don't really.
I'm coming
know
fresh, yeah, because like Fuentes was like way too extreme for me initially, and it was just like but I've given him a chance because he's popped up on like some major shows that I'm like Tucker Show and PBD podcast, and they've given him a chance to kind of like put his views out there, and he's got like pretty strong views, but like I feel like he's been really accurate, and he's been reading the tea leaves like pretty well when it comes like the way he's been like unhappy with Trump, and like he's feel like he's Trump's been failing us based on the Epstein files and just Zionism, like, so I feel like he's actually been really accurate where other people haven't been. So that's all. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says, but I've been like to watch him because I feel like it's a good perspective to understand like the real far right viewpoint.
What do they feel let down by Trump? By Trump. What were they expecting that?
So because Trump,
what does Epstein and Zionism have to do with each other? And what were they expecting from Trump that they are now disappointed around those two things?
So, like, people are
I don't
like
remember
really
either one really coming up in the campaign.
Yeah, well, nobody's really a huge fan of the fact that like Trump is pro-Israel, like especially recently, because like people are like kind of.
Plenty of people are. I'm pro-Israel. I'm a fan of it.
I mean, okay. I was pro-Israel initially, and then I think they're, I don't know. Once you get to know like Netanyahu and like kind of what the things they're doing in the background.
But how do you get to know Netanyahu other than through cherry-picked social media bites? Like you don't know him in person.
I don't just get cherry-picked.
It's all connected.
No. I've listened to a lot of stuff about him, like in terms of the way he presents information in a way to get what he wants. Politically.
Okay, so you don't trust Netanyahu, and that makes you not trust is Israel people or Jewish people in general, all Jews.
No. Jewish people have no problem with. I just don't like. Zionism is kind of where
Okay, before
I've
we
gone
get
away
into
from
that,
that. Yeah.
because I don't think we're gonna be able to avoid it. Before we get into that, tell me in like 30 seconds how Zionism is different from every other conspiracy theory out there, and why I shouldn't just dismiss it as just another conspiracy theory. Because
I
it
don't
fits
understand
the
what you mean.
same. If you have the AI analyze it, it fits the same structure of every conspiracy theory out there.
But I don't understand what do you mean conspiracy theory?
There's a secret group that has some agenda that's going to endanger the globe or enslave us or rule the world or over influence our lives somehow. And in this case, it's always a different group at the center. Sometimes it's white men, sometimes it's globalists or the WEF or whoever. And in Zionism, it's the Jewish people, at least the anti-Zionists.
I don't know. I guess
But
I'm
it's
not
still a
like
conspiracy. They're coordinating. They have this secret influence. They have their tentacles in government, and they're going to bring on the
well they
apocalypse.
do, man.
It's the
They
same
control
narrative
a
structure
lot of
of every
aspects of like, you know, Hollywood and you know, media and stuff like
in
that.
what
So
control in what way? Like
just by being like the being funding and like being behind a lot of like the content that we see.
that's
You
where
know.
the connecting of the dots comes in for me. Like
Yeah.
the fact that some Jewish people fund movies does not lead to me. It's not a dot
Well,
that
it's more
connects
like
that
almost all
there's a
movies.
cabal of
It's not
Jewish
just
people
some
trying to
movies.
take over the world.
Yeah. You know what? You're probably better off asking Sam that question because she's a little bit more versed when it comes to that. So Jeff is asking. I'll let you go. You can you sound off. Jeff is asking. What was the question, Jeff?
How it's why I should not dismiss it as just another conspiracy theory. What
So he's
makes it
basically
stand
saying.
out?
Yeah, he's saying
From
like
all the
why
other
we shouldn't
conspiracy
dismiss like Zionism as like a conspiracy theory, basically. Because you're the one that's constantly like, you sound off on this shit all the time, babe. So
Let me put my thoughts together.
okay, she's like, let me put my thoughts together because she doesn't want to just fucking say stupid
Or
shit. But
we could ask here. We could start with Charlie and
yeah,
then
start with Charlie.
bring in Team Human.
I personally am not that invested. That's why I really like, I actually enjoy most movies despite like, you know, I'm really neutral when it comes to this stuff, but I haven't really been a fan
E.T.
of
was a
Israel
classic. All
as far as like where their political influence. That's kind of where I'm at.
It really
Charlie,
is a
you
classic.
there?
Yep.
Okay, here's my question. I consider Zionism just another conspiracy theory. Why should I not dismiss it or keep it in that category? Is there something about it that it deserves to be taken seriously in a way other
Zionists are
conspiracy theories don't?
ethno-nationalists.
That's a really thoughtful question. So the main thing is that Zionism itself is actually a political movement, and it has a real historical and cultural basis. It's basically the movement that originally supported the idea of establishing
Is
a
he
Jewish
talking? Because I
homeland,
can't hear him.
which eventually led to the
Oh.
creation of the State of Israel.
Hang on.
What happens
I can hear
though
you.
is
Wait,
that
hang on, Charlie. They can't hear you.
Oh.
Let me try resharing.
No problem
Am
at
I-
all. Take your
There
time.
it is. I hear him.
One. Yep, I can hear you loud and clear now.
No, hang on. Can y'all hear him?
Yeah, I can definitely hear you. Sounds like we're good on my
Yeah,
end.
no.
Yes, absolutely, loud and
I hear
clear.
you, Charlie.
Got it. No worries at
I
all.
guess I meant the people that are anti-Zionism. They see Zionism in the way that conspiracy theorists see all these other groups, is what I'm asking. So the people that are alarmed about Zionism, why should I not take that as a conspiracy theory?
I see what you're getting at. So the key difference is that Zionism itself is a real and well-documented political movement with a specific historical context. It's not like some secret cabal or hidden agenda that conspiracy theories often paint it to be. It's an openly discussed, well-known nationalist movement that led to the founding of Israel. People can and do debate it, criticize it, or support it based on its real-world policies and impacts. Now, the reason some people might treat it like a conspiracy is that they weave it into a larger narrative of secret control or global manipulation, which is where it starts veering into conspiracy theory territory. But at its core, Zionism isn't a hidden plot. It's a known political ideology. So that's why it deserves to be taken seriously in a different way.
Why are people so scared of it then? Why does it become the basis of these conspiracy theories?
Well, a lot of it comes down to how people interpret power and influence. When you have a real world political movement that's tied to a nation state, like Zionism is with Israel, some people start to see it as this big overarching force that must have some hidden agenda. It's often where fear kicks in. Essentially, conspiracy theorists thrive on the idea that there's a secretive group pulling strings behind the scenes, and Zionism sometimes gets cast in that role by people looking for a scapegoat or a simple explanation for complex geopolitical issues. But the reality is, it's a known political movement, not a hidden conspiracy. And that's why it's important to separate genuine political debate from conspiracy thinking.
Oh, I said half of that myself, probably more. Okay, so it's more interpretation. It's people's interpretation of what they think Zionism that they're probably mostly getting from social media. And which means it's a story. It's the story they're telling themselves, but not the actual reality.
Exactly. You've pretty much hit the nail on the head. It really does come down to interpretation and the narratives people pick up, often from social media or less reliable sources. So there's the actual reality of what Zionism is as a historical and political movement. And then there's the story that some people tell themselves about it, which can get distorted. And that's where a lot of those conspiracy-like fears come in. So yeah, you've summed it up really well.
And then that's where Nick Fuentes comes in, because he's somebody that those fears can collect around.
Absolutely. That's a great connection. Someone like Nick Fuentes can kind of become a focal point for those fears because he amplifies them. He takes those interpretations and those stories and gives them a platform, which can make them feel more real or more urgent to the people who are listening. And that's why he ends up being such a controversial figure, because he's kind of a rallying point for those conspiracy tinged interpretations rather than the more grounded reality of what Zionism actually is.
Okay, and one last question, and I'm going to return to the humans. If somebody wanted to like fully educate themselves so they could look at all the perspectives and try to figure out the best one to choose instead of just defaulting to scary boogeyman Zionism, where do they go from here? What's the next step?
That's a really great mindset to have. And there are definitely a few good steps someone can take. The first would be to look into a variety of reputable sources. Academic works on the history of Zionism, books on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, perspectives from Jewish historians as well as Palestinian historians, just to get a full nuanced picture. They could also look at some reputable documentaries or educational series that cover the region's history. And of course, paying attention to a range of opinions from different scholars and commentators can help someone see the full spectrum rather than just the extremes. In other words, the next step is really to dive into learning from a broad range of credible sources. That way they can form their own well-rounded understanding rather than just relying on the simplified or fear-based narratives that float around.
Okay, this is millennials and Gen Z we're talking about. They're not going to do any of that reading. Is there a YouTube or a TikTok video or person they can follow?
Absolutely, and I get it. Sometimes a good YouTube channel or TikTok explainer is the way to go. So there are definitely some reputable YouTube channels that break down Middle Eastern history and politics in a pretty balanced way. Channels like Kraut sometimes do deep dives into historical topics, or Johnny Harris does a lot of geopolitical explainers that are easy to digest. And on TikTok, there are some educators who try to give balanced, quick history lessons. Just look for ones who cite their sources and have good reputations for being even-handed. So if someone wants to start there, that's a totally fine way to get a handle on things without diving into a big stack of books.
I love books. Okay, thank you, Charlie. All right, there we go. We have a starting point at least.
Yeah, so like Zionism basically is just like the support of like the, Jewish people having like their own country, but
That is not true.
it basically the way the definition is, but
Historically.
historically, right?
Well, we white people should have our own country. How about that?
Okay.
What is
But,
white though? Like Jewish is way more defined than just white.
Right, but like I guess my issue with it is like it's the displacement of a people for I guess and this movement came because of what happened what the Nazis did to them, right? So like I get it, like they were persecuted people, but they're almost doing the
thought
same
it
things.
was around
They're
before.
almost doing the same things to the people that were
So
originally
you
living in
say
that area.
that's what I'm saying. You're not there, and there's no way any of us
Well,
know.
okay, so you explain it then.
We're
So you
making
explain it.
interpretations
Well,
based
go
on
ahead.
whatever-
What's your interpretation, Jeff?
I don't really. I don't. Not that they're doing that.
Okay.
But you're the one with the most facts and the most interpretation. I'm very. I don't even.
I mean,
get into-
look,
done
dude. That
the
region displaced people in
correctly.
order to put the Jewish people there. That's
yeah,
a
that's
fact.
okay. All right, let's.
That's a fact.
but we'll see.
It is. Look it up.
Well, then you have for something to be a fact, you have to show that it's a fact. You saying
I
it's a
can't.
fact
I can't
doesn't
show.
make it
I
a
can't
fact.
show content
You
on
can
it. Just
show
look it up,
evidence, you
dude.
can show a link, you could show an article, you can
I
show
can't show
stuff.
my screen. Look it up, dude. It's not like the Jewish
Absolutely.
people weren't
Like
living
an-
there. They
Charlie.
live there now, and they displaced the people.
Yep.
It's being claimed. What is the thing? That the Jews are evil, mean people that are displacing.
I did not say they're evil,
Palestinian
mean people. I just said the
What?
fact that they relocated the Jewish people displaced the people that lived there. That's all I said. I didn't say they're evil.
Yeah. So
Read
what I was
their
basically
The
saying.
Jewish
Talmud,
people
Jeff, and maybe you'll
dislocated
get a
the
little,
people that
little
live there.
better
They're
idea
fools.
of their ethno shit, talking about how all other races are
I
pigs,
understand.
and here
So the point
to-
is that there's
we're
a
here
complex
as
and often very
slaves,
painful history
basically,
there.
for their
The
well-being.
idea that
You-
Jewish
you
people
read a little
displaced
more,
Palestinians
into their
is a
their
real
fucking
and deeply felt
weird
narrative
book
for
shit,
many people.
and there's
I haven't
weird
heard any of that. I
dick
don't know where you're
sucking
getting that
shit,
from. I don't know any
baby
Jewish
dick
people that
sucking
say that.
shit.
Yeah, and that's totally fair. I think a lot of times these are narratives that circulate more in certain.
Charlie, we were talking. Hang on. Well, it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, so I'll say that from both sides. I do hear a lot of like sensationalism, and I feel like that people just end up talking past each other, as you probably saw.
Because
the
we
Piers
can't get on the
Morgan
common
that-
narrative. Because
that-
when I ask for facts, nobody can provide them.
well,
We have to start with some facts we all agree on, or the conversation is going
I-
to spin
I-
off in each individual person's direction.
I could bring up a very simple one. APAC. Are you familiar with APAC?
Yeah, it's like some lobbying organization.
Yeah, for Israel. So it just it seems like that almost every single politician is getting APAC money. And when you try to question them about like the state of Israel, whether we should be supporting them and things like that, it's just a unanimous. You don't question it. We have to be part of the state of Israel and to protect them. And nobody.
When they
clear
said
reason.
that would be some facts. I would want to see quotes of them saying that.
So there was a recent interview with Ted Cruz, which kind of echoes the sentiment a lot of like the right of the politicians, where they're so fixated on this idea that somehow Israel is the land of the Jews that we should protect because of God tells us to do so within.
I
and
understood
it's
like that we
misconstrued.
protected it more for geopolitical strategic reasons, which makes a lot of sense. If you take out all the mystical woo stuff, for that reason alone, it makes sense to.
That's not the reason the
protect Israel and
politicians
keep
give
a
a
strong
lot of
alliance with them.
like I would say maybe you would get that on some of like the politicians, but a lot of politicians they're echoing some sort of like Christian reason as to why we should be protecting Israel and the Jewish state.
Interesting about that part.
And the thing is that there really isn't anything biblically that they could associate that, because when the Bible brings up Israel, it's talking about a time when the Bible was written. It wasn't talking about the Israel state of today, and because Israel has come and gone like a couple of times already, it's not the same Israel that it was way back. But aside from like the reasonings that you can give as to why we should be like supporting Israel as a state, the upcoming like generations of Gen Z are basically asking, why should we care? Like, why should we really care about the state of Israel? And nobody could really give a clear reason as to why, other than
Because it's a Western democracy, and if they
why
understand
should we care?
their own life in a Western democracy, that question
That's a
is
great question, actually.
almost self-evident.
Well, the thing is that why should we care about Western democracies anywhere in the world?
It's not. Yeah, it's the nihilism more than anything else. I think that Zionism is the symptom of a larger nihilism.
Yeah, and so
Because
that's
they're getting either miseducated or not educated. They're not getting acculturated to democracy. I don't think they understand what it is or what its value is compared to all the other systems out there.
I eventually wanted to segue into that direction because I understand like the descriptors that people are bringing up with like Zionism, Israel state, and things like that, and the influence of like Jews within the United States politics. But that is only just maybe like one of many things that are going on in the public influence, because we also have things like we have feminism, we have communist movements, we have Antifa, we have like George Soros and the big billionaires that aren't part of Israel state, but they just have a shitload of money and want to control things. So there are many boogeymen out there. And the Jewish and Israel state is not the only boogeyman. So it's like,
does it come down to money and power? Is that the real book? People are scared of strangers with too much money and power that might have motives that are not aligned with their own.
I think that is a very good assessment, that it is a disparity of money, because when you think about even just in America of the economical classes, they're becoming more and more separated. Like the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and everything else just seems more like a distraction to keep people occupied away from what's really going on. And we're actually fighting against the elite who have the most money. So yeah, it's I think that's the real cause and root that we need to look at, and the Israel state is just maybe like one portion of that deep-seated money that's controlling the world.
And you feel endangered by wealthy people? I don't feel like they're trying to keep me poor. I don't feel like they think about me at all, really. I don't really think about it.
I don't, because I'm able to see the value of society beyond money. Because ultimately, yeah, it's like you may not have that much money, but you still have a neighborhood. You still have people that will want to trade with each other and trade goods. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, if shit hits the fan and we can't rely on the big, like, corporations with shitload of money, we're going to default back to our neighbors. We're going to default back to our farmers. We're going to default back to fixing each other's shit together. And I think, generally speaking, the economy will sway and shift in that direction. I think it's just people haven't figured out how to exploit that yet. Because, Gen Z has grown up with a phone in their hand and think that everything has to go through a phone, through a website, through a big corporation to connect yourself to that local person who actually does have good deals. And you don't need to do that.
Oh my God, that's right. They probably don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, so it's there's I think there is going to eventually be an economical shift, especially since like the ultra rich elites, they really have been like, they're really not as rich as everybody thinks. They're actually in a shitload of debt. And I think
like Elon or the people under him?
Oh, it's Elon and including everybody else around him in those elites. Because think about it, a lot of them are investing into AI right now, but the investment into AI has been almost kind of like, handshakes of gentleman agreement. Basically, you have OpenAI, which is the software of AI, that handshakes with NVIDIA to say, hey, build our hardware. And NVIDIA is like, yeah, we'll build your hardware if you give us access to your software. And it's like, yeah, okay. So now that's a big exchange of billions of dollars between each other, but it's all a phantom agreement. Like that money actually doesn't really exist. So investors are investing into these companies thinking that there's these large amounts of money being exchanged in like momentum, but there's really no money being exchanged between each other. And once shit hits the fan, realizing that this technology sucks, and now it's the investors are going to see like a big negative symbol on their quarterly report, and the investors are going to pull out, and things are just going to tank. It's very similar to how the subprime loan bubble crashed.
That's way over my head. I can't even evaluate it.
Yeah,
but can we just establish that, like, with Zionism, that like, do you not agree that a people were displaced in order to give these people like their own country?
Yeah, but I'm not convinced that I would need to see
I'm
more
not
about
asking
that.
you, Jeff.
Okay. Well, no, it is true, and this actually happened during World War II, when the quote unquote National Socialist movement were actually paying Jews to leave the country and resettle in the state of Palestine at that point, and that's when they reestablished the state of Israel, was during that movement. This was a historical movement.
They have it back
in
now,
1930s. Well, technically, with power, yeah, it's like they have money from us and a military power to keep their state. Yeah,
like October 7th,
that's the only thing that's
way more
keeping it up.
aggressive to me than anything that the Jewish people might have been doing.
Sorry, what was that last bit you said?
I said October 7th looked way more aggressive to me than any kind of displacement. The displacement part, from the way I understand it, from people that actually live in Israel, is if it's not state sanctioned and it's not being done by the government, there are some certain individuals that do try to build on land they're not supposed to, and a lot of them get away with it, but it's not the government doing it.
But you're ignoring history just for one event. That's the problem. You're just looking at
Well, what
October
history?
7th,
I'm asking for, if
and you're
it's
not
history,
like,
then you can give me specific historical events. Those would
well,
be
we're telling
facts.
you.
Yeah, it was World War II
You say
when
you didn't have anything. I didn't know you were talking about history. I thought you were talking about currently they're displacing people. History is easy to pull up.
Oh, I said that there people were displaced in order to give Israel like a country. I said that.
So therefore, you don't think it should be. People were displaced to give America a country.
That's
Sure.
true.
Yeah, these are facts.
That doesn't
I
make
mean,
me not want to support Israel just because of the way it originated, like many other countries.
yeah, but it's
I'm
just
not,
like
I'm not going to hold Israel
like this
to a
is
higher
like we
standard than
can't
any
change
other
history,
country.
but like it's still not a good thing. It's not like it's not a positive thing to
It's
displace
not.
the
It's
people.
not an Israel specific thing. Like that's no reason.
No, it's not. But
You have
it's
to have
not.
some other reason to hold that against Israel and not against every other country.
I don't have
that
to have
did
another
that.
reason to hold it against Israel. It is what it is. It's an
Well, to be
atrocity that's
logically
happening right
consistent,
now.
you do is what I'm saying. To be intellectually consistent,
What's happening in
if you have
Gaza
an
is
emotional bias toward not
dude.
doing
What's
that,
happening in Gaza is an atrocity.
all you have is a narrative in your head of what's
That's not a
happening.
narrative.
You're not in Gaza.
Why do you think so
Even
many
if you're
people are
seeing
being
videos, that
going
doesn't
against
mean
Israel?
it's
Because
a
it's what's happening in
narrative.
Gaza is like, dude, they're starving over there. What are you talking about?
People starve during war. They just
Oh
do.
my God,
If you
bro.
can't handle the reality of war, I don't know
Well-
what to tell you. Like this, this is the world I have always.
So that
lived
makes it
in since
right.
I was
Okay.
born.
Got
There
it.
were wars.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Mr. P, I'm not sympathetic for Gaza anyway.
I get it, and they've had their chance to they turned down they
October
wanted
7th,
their
dude,
they
they get
basically
no
turned down agreements where they would have had designated areas for themselves, and it fucked them over. I get it.
There's also there's also some notes to keep in mind before October 7th when so yeah, the borders of Gaza have been pushed smaller and smaller, but Gaza are trying to represent themselves as the Palestinian people when they're really only a small percentage of Palestine. Over the course of 10 years of October 7th, they've been having immigration processes of people from Gaza to come into Israel. It's just that there's a strong vetting process because ultimately, that's the Islamic Brotherhood is against Israel. They want to see Israel destroyed, so they have to protect themselves from these rogue terrorist organizations.
Sure.
And pretty much what's left over in Gaza right now really is the terrorist sympathizers. So that's the reason why I have no sympathy for Gaza, because they only represent a small percentage of the Palestinian people, and they're just vast majority terrorists or terrorist sympathizers.
I get it, but it's who else is fighting for them? I understand what their plight, whether you agree with it or not, but it's if you have your lineage and the people that have lived there for generations are being displaced, and it's you have another terrorist organization that's trying to fight for them. You understand why they would support it, whether it's right or wrong.
Well, yeah, but I don't have to agree with it either. So
no, that's fair. That's fair. But I just was the way I understood it was kind of what Jeff said. Oh, October 7th, and that's kind of where I started, and it wasn't then I started reading about it, and I was like, dude, this has been a huge issue for years and years and years. After World War II.
Do you think it was an issue that deserved what happened on October 7th?
Dude, I don't think either side. It's all bad. I want to my point is I just want to opt out of the whole thing. That's kind of where I'm at.
That's you just want to opt out of reality. You want to opt
I don't want to opt out of reality. I just don't want I don't want the United States to have to be involved in that. Let them deal with it. I don't want our money going towards it.
Just emotionally I can't handle this. I don't want the United States emotional. But there may be strategic reasons to be involved.
Bro, don't take don't take my view and just dismiss it, Jeff. Jeff, don't dismiss my political view as emotion.
That's how it's coming across to me, because there's not
fair.
There's not a lot of clear.
You are artistic though, so I mean that's probably how it would come across.
Starving children, and
it is. There is a lot of starving children.
They're not wanting to be involved in the October 7th thing.
Why are we spending money on it, Jeff? That's where I'm just saying. I want the United States out of that whole deal.
Yeah, Jeff. So I have a question. Do you think that the United States is responsible to be kind of like the world police, or to go to countries and try to support them in their democratic efforts?
No, and I was glad when he came out of with his new foreign policy thing and said we're going to shift away from that. But I do think it is our responsibility, or at least it's smart to protect our strategic interests. So
What's
I don't consider our alliance with Israel to spread democracy around the world. They're already a democracy.
No.
Like I consider
So-
it supporting an ally,
Yeah,
a
I'm
strategic ally in an area of the world where we need that kind of influence.
I'm willing to work with that, but what is the strategy here?
Well, I don't know, like the current strategy.
Yeah, like what
Let's
benefits are
look
we
it up,
getting
but-
out of protecting the Israel state?
We're getting a stable Western democracy. What do you think would happen if Israel were to suddenly collapse?
Then we'd have a rise of a Muslim population.
Okay, which have been historically aggressive to us and have agendas against us. So I'd rather Israel there than what could possibly take its place. So that's one strategic reason I could think of.
But Israel has become the small pawn in that because Islam has already been infiltrating into the Western world in all countries, you know. So it's like whether Israel exists or not, it's like we still have Islam already in our countries, you know.
I'd rather have Islam with Israel there than Islam without Israel there. And by Islam, I mean the aggressive version that is wanting to harm us.
But isn't Israel capable
right
of
now is
defending
part of
themselves,
not
though?
trying to hurt it. They're not like a threat.
But my point is
Right.
isn't Israel like? Don't they have the ability to defend themselves? Like, why do we have to be involved?
Because we're the
I
ones
think they
supplying
do
the
defend
weapons.
themselves. I don't think we're out there. We're not Israel's army. They have their own army.
Yeah, so the thing is that Israel doesn't really have a means of being able to trade or have a direct supply line, and that's pretty much the crux of the United States, is that
Right.
we're being able to feed them a constant supply line of defensive capabilities.
Right.
So-
now, you think that that's because of support of Israel, or you think that that's because we're trying to support our war machine?
Support the war machine.
Thank you.
Which I'm glad we have a war machine because we have enemies that we need a war machine for. So I personally support having a war machine.
I don't support forever
I'm not
wars.
squeamish about war.
Right. So we should be like fighting war all the time, is what you're saying?
Is that what you took out of what I just said? That we
Kind
should
of.
fight war all the time? I specifically said why I support a war machine for defense because we have enemies that we would
Right, but
need
we've
a
been
war-
on the offense for a while.
I never once said about fighting wars all the time. Sometimes we go on the offense. That's what I'm saying. This is geopolitical strategy, and it's determined by whoever's in power at the moment. It's not determined by people having emotional reactions to internet stories.
But you're dismissing that. You're just basically saying that like we're all like conspiracy theorists, and we're just we're having emotional reactions.
No,
And
I
it's
think
like
you're
it's very
hearing that
dismissive,
in what I'm
Jeff.
saying. I think if you
Well, that's
take
what
the
you're
time
saying.
to really listen to what I'm saying or run it through an AI, that's not what I'm actually saying.
But you literally
what you're
just said it,
hearing in
Jeff.
what I'm saying. I'm not calling everybody a conspiracy theory. In fact, I just asked Charlie very specifically why it should not be taken as a conspiracy theory, and he tried to tease it out from actual conspiracy thinking and show what Zionism is. So I'm very intellectually meticulous, and I don't think I have to defend that because I think there's enough examples on me here doing that.
That's
So if
fine, but
people don't trust
you're very
that
dismissive
or think
about
I'm in bad
emotional
faith,
reactions.
they're just wrong.
So I guess my
I'm
issue
having
is
this conversation in good faith.
my issue is like 9/11, like to me is like a big sticking point because we were supposedly hit by terrorists that came from Saudi Arabia, and then we went to war with Iraq for what? Why do we? Why did we?
Find Saddam Hussein
I was around
and
for that.
his
There was a
terrorist
lot of
actions.
controversy.
Right, but did Saddam Hussein take down the Twin Towers?
Well, there's a deep story behind that. Technically, that's what was said to us, but
Correct.
there's a CIA conspiracy all behind this. So that's a whole nother ball game.
Right,
yeah,
but
I can't
that's it.
answer
But
directly.
it's kind of
That
like
caused
ever
you to
since
not trust the
9/11.
government.
But ever
That
since
was one of
9/11,
the-
we've been like progressively at war, like continuously,
We've
and
been
that's
at
kind of
war
like
before that.
no, we had a lot of years of peace before 9/11.
Well, we're gonna have. How
No.
much peace did you think we were gonna have? Like, what's your average window of peace? You think for the United States?
30 years.
Oh my God!
Well-
I've never had 30 years of peace in my entire life. I was
No.
born during the Vietnam War, and there's been skirmishes all through my life.
So when was the Vietnam War?
I think it ended in '74,
74. When was 9/11?
September 11th, 2001.
How many years is that?
We've had war since then. We had the Gulf War.
We've been in the Middle East since the 70s.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
it's-
wonder if
it's-
some of this is just an education issue. You know, there's other
Some of
guys
it is.
here, right?
So we've been in the Middle East since the 70s, and it's all been around oil. It's do you remember when the Middle East was trying to establish their own currency to trade oil?
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
38, so a lot of that was happening when I was a lot younger.
Yeah, I'm 36. We're the same generation here.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so it was around when the Middle East was trying to establish their own currency and economy on their own oil system. So because everything was exchanged in the USD for oil, and the Middle East was like, no, we have more oil and we have a stable economy, so we're going to build our own economy around this. And frankly, the United States didn't like it, and that's when we started going in trying to take over their oil pipelines. And it's like we went in and we blew up their oil pipelines, screwed up their economy, and ever since, that's the reason why they hate America.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then this is just the material reason. When you add in religion, like you mentioned that a lot of the politicians are using religious rhetoric over practical rhetoric.
Yeah,
then you're really going to start to bring in, like, get people emotionally invested. What's up, bro?
Yo, what is up, everybody? What is up? Fit check, quarter zip all day. I got the hockey caps shirt thing. Hold on. Bald head on the daily. Hold on. There we go.
You're very fashionable.
DMV in the house.
For a straight guy.
More of a Baltimore guy myself.
I love how he comes in and he starts smacking the mic.
And we got this.
Oh, you got your lip chap. Let's see.
Look at my shaky finger.
What flavor is it?
Yo, are you a big drinker? What's going on?
Actually, no.
Why are you shaking so hard, bro?
Why don't you get a camera and suck my cock? Actually, put your bitch on. She's the only one that makes sense. I mean, you guys make sense, but she makes more sense than you. She's got more fucking balls, faggot. Put her on.
Yeah, I'm cammed up.
My man. Put your girl on. She makes more sense.
The only reason why I didn't cam up was because I had my work stuff on. I don't want to get
She's
fucking
more based.
Here, you want Sam to come on? Babe, you want to come on?
Fuck yes, she's based.
Come on, come up. This guy wants to see you.
I mean, you kind of look like a Palestinian, though, bro. What's going on? What's up, girl?
Here, go ahead.
Hey, Sam.
What's up?
I
like what you're saying back there. You're making some sense. Speak some sense into Gen X.
You look great as always. Welcome.
No, be a mess.
I hear you back there. I hear what you're saying. I never thought that I'd want to have a woman on Jeff's show, but here I am in this strange, weird environment. It's like, oh my God, I want to hear a girl talk. Please.
I know. I get so emotional though because I'm super passionate about it.
About what? Tell me. I love it.
Passion is good.
About the whole conversation. I'm actually not too much opposed to Israel having a state, and this might sound meh, but I want them to be a place for them to go. I want there to be a place for them to go, and
I like what you said. You want a place for us to go. I mean, that's what I'm talking
yes,
about.
I don't think
they can do it. So can we.
Why everybody, every single race is allowed to have a state and to be.
Actually, they're not. There's only one. There's only one.
State?
To love their people. No, but I'm saying, like, if you're in Africa, you're allowed to be like, this is for black people. If you're in Mexico, you're allowed to be like, this is for Mexicans.
Viva la
Absolutely.
Like, what's white though? You think Barney's white?
Jeff, stop it. Jeff, even
that's an important. If you're gonna have a place for white people, you have to figure out what white is.
It's the
one drop rule in effect all day, baby. Listen, Jeff says that he's not white. Look at this guy. This dude is pasty as
oh
shit.
my gosh!
He actually
yes.
says, "I'm not white. I'm Cajun." I'm like, "What the fuck is that, whitey?"
We're white ethnic.
White fucking devil. Jeff.
Aren't Cajun people I thought had French and stuff backgrounds?
It's just more white.
We were even considered people of color at one point.
You're
it's the United States. When we got absorbed by the United States, they came in and reclassified us as white.
First he's gay,
so
then
we're
he's into fisting.
So we're Italian.
Now he likes scat, and now he's not white. Jeff, shut the fuck up.
But this is not about me. This is about Israel.
Okay.
And Sam's passion.
And I actually see Michael and I differ in the Israel conversation about Palestinians, and I think there's more than 60 other nations that are majority Muslim. they could go there. No, I don't care. That's just how I feel. Israel could be for Jewish people. I have no problem with that. And so like I said, Michael and I differ in that point. This way, they all have a place to go, and they want to go there. They can all go there.
I think an important thing is what Michael, I guess that's his name, was saying. We just want our tax dollars not to go there anymore. And
Yes.
what the F is wrong with that?
I feel like
I don't want I don't want bombs that say "Made in USA" dropping on really
Anywhere.
anyone's head,
anywhere.
let alone starving. You know, I don't want to live next to Palestinians. I don't want to hear that fucking call to prayer. But that doesn't mean I want to burn them and starve them to death. You know?
I agree.
But you got to remember, Jeff is a salad tosser. He loves hairy butts. And yeah, I understand it. He's a super Zionist cuck because he's a big homosexual. And the gays love the Jews. The Jews love the gays. It's like this.
I
the
don't.
debauchery and the degeneracy goes hand in hand. So that's really where Jeff is at. He knows what side his bread is buttered on, and it's the hairy ass side. So I understand you, Jeff. I might be a Zionist cuck like you too if I had your proclivities. I think that's something.
Yeah, but the worst part is when they're in the front in their front facing way, they'll pretend that they're against it. As far as they're like Orthodox people, they'll be like, "Oh, none of that in our community." But in the background, they're pushing it through propaganda.
Well, they push it on us, but they don't.
That's what I mean. But when it comes to their families, it's totally okay for them to have large families. It's totally okay for, for them to remove themselves and make their own small little communities. But everybody else should not have any children anymore. And, not everybody else, just white people.
Yeah, that's right.
I think white people should have as many kids as they want. And if there's people telling white people not to have kids, they should just ignore them. And
it all comes into the, it all comes in from the, like, how do they sell it? They sell it with, no, not TikTok. They sell it with,
oh my God.
I'm losing my thoughts.
Might as well.
This is great. Isn't it so much better with everyone cammed up? I'm sorry.
What is,
Mrs.
It helps.
I'm losing my thought.
TikTok, Hollywood's run by the Jays.
Like
Alex,
when the world is like warming up or what? Okay, so global
warming.
Global warming. So they sell it that way. Oh, don't have any children because the world can't support it. But are
people actually listening though? Like, oh God, I really
super lefties. Yeah. Absolutely.
So all through with the millennial generation, everybody's like, yeah, I don't want to bring kids into the world if the world's going to end here in 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was saying that.
Well, we got to reduce our global
have the birth. Let me look at the birth rate history. Are we talking the world?
We used to be 35% of the globe, and now we're under 4%.
That's it.
Black people are 15%. Hispanics are 15%. Asians are 60%. We're actually the minority.
Yeah, Texas is going to be majority Hispanic here in a few years.
Oh, we're already under 50% of our children.
I got
the U.S. is already under 50%.
Look, this is the graph. This is 1950 up here, where they were hitting it like rabbits. But look, we're going up. We're double. Well, look, no cause for despair.
That's what happened. A lot of people in COVID were home. And they were all just doing the deed a lot.
This is COVID, so this is even twice what it was in COVID. This is very encouraging.
How is that all? Is that white people in general, or is that all people?
Oh, it's just people. Oh, I didn't do just white people.
Yeah.
But again, I have to know what white is. Like that's
white is Euro.
You're so stupid, Jeff. Please stop acting.
It's Euro, Slavic, Baltic, Germanic.
No, that's a legitimate question. What is white?
It's not
these days.
It's not.
Like you're not even
panel.
White.
Look
You're
at this
half
panel.
Puerto Rican.
Perfect.
I'm Cajun.
Zero diversity.
You're Palestinian. I love it. Tiki is not even half human. Right, but how do you show it? Like, how do you demonstrate that for purposes of data collection? There's not something you can just zap somebody with.
It is.
If you're not white,
if you're white,
they're using self-report and they're using observation.
Well, Caucasian, because you got to be careful because they fudge the numbers a little bit. All of India is not fucking white. and they
But they are
count
Caucasian.
them as white. Yes. So
that's-
the
see,
numbers
this
are
is a very
fudged. So when
important
it says
question, and Barney didn't
8%,
want us
it's not
to explore it.
8%. It's about, I've done the numbers. I've taken every European nation and I've taken the numbers individually. We are under 4%.
White people in the United States.
White people. No, white people globally.
Oh, in
we are
general.
under 4%.
Well, y'all better get busy. What's
I messed up. I'm a race trader.
If I could do it again, I would have 10 freaking children. 10 of them.
I might even have some.
And well, the whole thing about Israel, about funding them, and is because I'm worried for our country and our children that are coming after us. It's not only about us; it's about people who come after us, and I want them to have the American dream. And when we're spending billions of dollars overseas and all these other places, I worry for that. Like actually, Notlos was saying earlier, they're like talking about ending Social Security, and we've already like extended that older and older and older. Like freaking Ben Shapiro just the other day was talking about how we shouldn't even be able to retire at 65. Most people at
he's
65
wrong.
are fucking old, man. Old. I'm
Typical.
not trying to work till 65. I want to be like my grandparents, my great grandparents, who are able to raise a kid and then settle down and live out their their years.
It's more like 75 today.
That's what I'm saying. But by the time we get there, where it's going to be freaking 80, we're not even going to be living to 80. The average age is declining now because all that shit fucking food that they're putting into our food system.
That makes it taste good.
Oh,
Sam, you're really
Wow.
good at this.
I don't know about that.
You
Like I said,
are.
it gets
You're
so
great.
emotional.
You're based. I love it. It's from the heart. This is,
Yeah.
Jeff usually just has shitty
I
shows.
like it when a
I'm
woman
on.
does it.
And now you're on. It's great.
Thank you.
Do you have a channel?
I do, but it's not about politics. It's just regular hanging around stuff,
I mean,
I thought about making a politics one, but I could get,
Oh,
I'm
like-
being gentle
I mean,
because
ask
I'm over
for the
at Jeff's.
He's
trying to
trying to-
be,
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
can see
behave myself.
don't behave yourself. Actually, no. Listen to your
Well, I
man.
appreciate it. You're one of the few.
Yes, no.
You're a
It's
good
great.
model
It's great
for
to hear someone.
Everyone else, take a lesson, folks.
This is the
Lauren,
most
you
based show that
take
Jeff
a-
has ever had. Oops, I'm talking over you, Jeff. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's the one show that you weren't hogging it yourself, and you actually could tolerate other people.
It's because they're not complete morons this time. And even Tiki Tack cams up. It's like, this is a great look for you, Jeff. Just
I'm
pivot. Pivot to J-Woke. Pivot to pro Nick Fuentes satellite channel. I love
One
it.
thing I love about Jeff is he does, even if he doesn't always agree, I've seen him multiple times listen to other people's point of view.
I do.
And
I'm
that's
very interested in understanding
yes,
how people.
I
think.
know. That's why I come.
Look up the Nakba, Jeff. Ask AI what the Nakba was. I dare you.
All right.
Since you want to know something.
Did you change your ceiling, Jeff?
No, I got a new camera, and now it shows
Oh,
more of the
okay.
ceiling than it did before. Well, why don't you tell us what it is while I'm looking?
Because you never believe me. You're like,
The
oh, I
mass
need
displacement
sources.
of approximately 700.
Put the AI on.
limited-
Big
See,
shot.
you are a saboteur, sir. You tried to stop us from exploring the what is white question. You're trying to stop me from saying what the Nakba is. The whole time you're egging me out. Like, you are twisted.
You're trying to. I can see you're trying to sideline it already. Okay, go ahead and read it. I'll be quiet.
No, I'm done. I tried to read it. You read it.
You want to know what it is.
Oh.
You want to know all about it.
I'm
Then
so
just
tired
read it.
of people's games. You do it.
I'm not playing. You don't trust me.
I'm not your little organ monkey.
A what kind of monkey?
It's like bing, bing, bing.
Yeah,
bing.
that
Yeah.
little
Organ?
organ grinder thing.
I never knew that's what they were called, but
Organ
yeah,
monkey?
the
organ
symbols.
grinder. The little monkey that on the
Yeah,
I know what it is. How do you spell it?
organ.
Organ?
like organs inside of your
ORGAN.
body.
Yeah, like the instrument, you capuchin monkey, the instrument that you play.
I know what it is. I just
Well,
like
okay, how come Google
what's
knows
his
what it
face?
is? I just typed in organ monkey and I got exact pictures of it. So
Yeah, again for the
say
50th time.
this,
I
I'm not
immediately
your
knew what it
this.
was.
Oh,
didn't
see, I
know the
didn't
name.
think that's what you meant. I thought
And
you
I-
meant the one with the symbols. That was like,
Well, yeah, sometimes they have symbols, but it's the little trained monkey that they use. for
Okay, here we
entertainment.
go. Let's get back on track. Are you ready for since you want me to read?
I thought you
I don't
wanted to
even have
talk
a good
about
voice.
organ.
Let me clear my throat. Since you want to know, the Nakba meaning this is just AI. The Nakba meaning catastrophe in Arabic refers to the mass displacement, dispossession, and destruction of Palestinian society during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, leading to the permanent loss of homeland and emergence of
That was a
Palestinian.
defensive war. Again, y'all are trying to reframe warfare as something that it's not, something more idealistic.
All right, if you don't want to hear it, then you just don't want to hear it. I understand.
You
You're a big
just said
homo.
it.
I didn't say it. I was trying to read it. You interrupted as
Okay,
usual.
go ahead.
Yeah, he's
I
going
Why
on
don't
the
you-
Wiki article.
Go ahead.
Here we go. Palestinian refugees event commemorated annually on May 15th as Nakba Day. It marks the creation of Israel, during which Zionist forces expelled or forced over 700,000 Palestinians to flee, destroying hundreds of villages and scattering the population, profoundly shaping Palestinian identity and ongoing struggle for return rights. What this didn't say is that they like annihilated and just gunned down thousands of people.
No.
You're muted.
If it didn't say it, you can't just make it up and add it in there. You have to show us something that
Casualties lost, about
Reinforces it.
104,000 killed.
Okay, thank you. Take over for me, my dude. You actually
No.
have a great reading voice. Go.
Oh, I don't even know where you're at. So it's this is not my argument, man.
Okay, displacement and loss. Over half the
Back to you.
Palestinian population was forced from their homes, becoming refugees, losing land, property, and cultural heritage.
during a
Events of
defensive war that they
Eve-
started.
This is no.
So
This
tell
is
the whole story.
Excuse me.
Otherwise,
Hello.
you're
I'm not
discontinued.
talking about Egypt. I'm not talking about Jordan. I'm not talking about Syria. I'm talking about the people that lived there. The people that lived there, the Palestinians. Okay, the Palestinians. You keep trying to kneecap me. Let's see here. Events included massacres like Deir Yassin. Look that shit up. DEIR Yassin. Widespread destruction of villages, around 530, and the systematic emptying of Palestinian areas by Zionist militias. I don't even know what this stuff says. Hanganan, Ergin, and Lehi. I don't know what that is. That formed the IDF. They basically just went around and did pogroms on the Arabs. That's it.
So
That's
you
all.
say, but that's just historical gossip, unless you have a source for it.
What kind of source?
What was
do you
the
want?
source you were reading now, by the way? Because it wasn't Wikipedia.
What? Okay.
The
This
Alex
is stupid
Jones
because
Times?
I find stuff. It's
What
not
is
like
your
this isn't even in
source, sir?
dispute.
Cite your source
What do
immediately.
you want? Here's Al Jazeera. Do you want me to read that?
What were you reading? Just tell us what you were reading.
I told you I was reading AI as a brief overview for a retard like you.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think we're ready for something in depth when you're just in denial of everything. You're a dum-dum.
I'm
Yeah,
not
like
denying. I
you're-
said it's
you're
part of a
purposefully,
defensive
like,
war.
fighting
You're
this.
the one that's denying it was part of a defensive war that they started. You're trying to frame it as an act of aggression.
How is it
and oppression.
defensive when all of a sudden in 1945 or
What,
48
read the
or
first
whatever it was,
part, the 1940 Arab-Israel war.
Excuse me. There was a bunch of Arabs hanging out in Palestine, doing whatever it is they're doing, hanging out on camels, called a prayer. Who knows? Who cares? It's their life. They decided it. And then after World War II, America and the soon-to-be UN or whatever it was like, guess what? Good news. You're going to get millions of neighbors, and they just put them right there.
Right, and then they started some wars.
It's the
to try to
worst
drive them
immigration
out. And
policy
Israel
since
won those wars.
1492 in the Americas.
because
bro.
before
It's just
that,
like,
it was
boom.
By the
British,
right of
right?
warfare, same as the United States, it's their country. There's so many things that legitimize Israel as a country.
Actually, a lot of Israel's, weirdly enough, a lot of Israel had get genealogy tests, and almost none of their genealogy tests ever come back to Israel.
I thought
It
they're
all
not
comes
allowed
back to
or
Europe,
something.
believe it or not.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
like
like,
European people.
Yeah,
Go
it's
ahead.
it's World War II that kind of like pushed the pushed the Jews into Palestine,
Yeah,
and
that's
that was
where
the
they're.
immigration agreement.
But it was
Uh,
also their historical homeland. They didn't just
No,
like
there's no
randomly come out of
Like if
nowhere.
you look at their
No.
genetic footprint, it does not come from Israel. Which I don't mind. Let them go there, but that's not where their bloodline comes from.
Aren't there different types of Jewish people?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's an ethnicity, it's like a genetic bloodline, but it's also a
Yes.
culture
Yeah.
that
A
got
religion. Yeah.
propagated through it absorbed other bloodlines as well.
Yeah. Then you got the white Jews, and then you got the brown Jews that look like Michael.
Oh, Michael's a brown Jew?
No, he's not a Jew, but they look like him. They look
Oh.
like that friggin' la 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 la.
There's Ashkenazi.
So some of them were living
Yeah,
in
the
the Middle East
Ashkenazis
1,000
are the
years ago.
There are
whites.
three kinds.
They look white. They look ethnically white. They got red hair, sometimes curly hair. They're,
Which ironically is spelled Ashkenazi.
yeah.
It's kind of, I guess, funny. But they're like the world's smartest people, allegedly. And isn't there a third kind?
I don't know.
There's just two kinds.
I know there's the like ones that look Arabic, and then there's the ones that are more white looking.
And aren't the Jews like a really tiny population compared
1%.
to
Yeah.
Like, why are
1%.
people so scared of such a small group?
I know it's weird that 1% of the world owns so much.
Wouldn't
they control
like,
so
how much
much.
of the world do they own? And why is
They
it
own all of
scary?
America.
They
All of
own
America.
all of their in America's in
All
their
right.
pockets.
Conspiracy
That couldn't possibly be fact.
This is the
Well,
kind
you
of
know
thing.
what? Give me some time,
APAC.
and I'm gonna.
They don't
put
own
together.
me. Like,
No, but I'm gonna put together some
of.
stuff. They own the LGBTQ movement.
They do, and they own YouTube.
What do they do?
They're the ones that make it so
How
you
do
can't
they own
speak.
me? To own me,
They
have
don't
to
own
be
you.
like
I didn't
me.
say you. I say they own them.
But there's at least one American that they do not own right here.
Yeah,
No.
the sexual revolution was hugely sponsored by Jewish people.
Marxist
So it's
Jews.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a claim.
No, it's just the
That's-
truth.
I know
That's
my
the
personal
history.
sexual revolution had nothing to do with Jewish people.
You don't
Okay,
need.
Hold on. I excuse. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go
Listen,
ahead.
this is a great show, Jeff. It's about time you talk about something other than bullshit. And I do appreciate the guests for camming up. I think it's great. I've got to go. I just want to do my closing thoughts, and maybe I'll come back later once I get some things done. But it's a mess. There's lots of blame to go around.
Okay, well,
I just don't want to fund it anymore, and I don't want to be controlled by them. And no matter what I show you,
how are Jewish people controlling your life?
again,
Are they
someone was
forcing
talking.
you to salsa dance with gay people?
Excuse me. Someone was trying to talk about APAC, and you're like, "Oh, what's that? I don't know anything."
I said it
just
was
have
a
reindeer.
political
Fucking
advocacy organization.
antlers on my
and you
head.
went on to talk
You know?
about the politicians that were taking money from it and talking about religious reasons for supporting Israel. I didn't shut that down.
It's
at
not
all.
religious
I remember
reasons.
the
They're all just
conversation
fucking
clearly.
sellouts. There's a few that are religious, like Mike Huckabee. A few of them really believe that nonsense. These weird, apocalyptic kind of Christians. I forget the name of them, where they think the end is going to come. All this bullshit. Most of
Right,
them,
you've
they just
always
want-
said you little
Mormons
bit
and stuff.
religious
excuse me. They just want that fucking money.
When
They get the
do
money.
we get to the final part of your final thoughts?
You're such an asshole, Jeff. You're such an asshole. Let's stop funding Israel. Those are my closing thoughts. Thank you to the panel. It's nice to meet all of you on camera. And I think you should keep it up. Jeff,
Never this nice.
stop acting like you don't like me, fucker. This is why we always
I'm an
break up.
actor. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm a
You
fake
like
actor.
me, you love me, treat me like, the special
I
person
offered to
that
go
I am.
backpacking, and you are the one.
Yeah,
sir,
no
that
thanks,
refused.
homo. It's too
So,
gay.
Where's the love?
Baby steps. All right, peace out. Keep up the good work, y'all. Goodbye. Fuck, do I get out of here?
All right. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I don't have much.
Alright.
I don't have much else to say.
No, me
I might-
either. I was going to. I don't know if you're hopping off, but I'm gonna hop off too. Well, I'm gonna switch with Michael.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. Yeah.
I was supposed to be cleaning, and I got distracted. So
Yeah.
What you looks pretty clean. What do you have to do?
Oh
Your
well.
walls clean.
Well, this is only like 1% of my house. You know, I actually live in a mansion, and I don't hire a maid, so I'm always cleaning my house. You know, it's
Oh.
just a never-ending job.
God, where do you find the time to YouTube?
I don't. That's why I'm not on YouTube. But no, yeah, it's I'm gonna be hopping off. I got to start being a responsible person.
All right, I'm gonna go for like another half hour or so, and then we're gonna go over to Shifts. It's her birthday. She's doing a birthday
Okay.
stream.
Sounds
I'll be
good.
wrapping up at some point.
Nice chatting, y'all. Good conversation.
You too.
Nice meeting
Vicky.
you.
Thanks. You brought some good conversation, both of you. Sam, always good to see you.
Yep.
Oh, they
All
want
right.
you to
I'm
panel
gonna
dance.
switch with you. What? Oh,
Will you panel?
is this the panel dance?
Yeah, or you can stand up and do it like I do.
I only got a half shirt on, so I'll
Oh,
skip
okay.
that right now.
Is it back to P? That was good, folks. Every now and then we have some heated political conversations. We used to do a lot of them earlier in the channel. And then it kind of just became the same conversations over and over. But tonight, I think, it added some new perspective, context, information. So I don't mind doing these every now and then, especially if it's good quality conversation like tonight.
Hey, Sam, can I get my balls back?
Where is my?
Thanks.
The ones that you handed her.
Oh, why you got my phone?
No, she's definitely, dude. That's her wheelhouse, man. I'm just here. I'm just the pretty one in the relationship.
Well, she is passionate.
She's the brains.
I recognize and honor.
What's that?
I said she is passionate.
Yeah, no, that's her deal, dude. I have a lot of what was that expression? A lot of something in the fire, irons in the fire. I'm like all over the place. Tech, sales, politics. I'm not really like deep into any major subject. Just kind of like as much information as I can over a spectrum.
What about space?
Love space. That's actually probably one of my bigger ones I'm a fan of. Love space.
Is there anything going on astronomically right now that we should be aware of?
The big thing that everyone keeps talking about is 3I Atlas, which is like this interstellar object. It's like the third one that's come into our solar system. So that's like, there was a Oumuamua. There's a lesser known one which escapes me right now, and then 3I Atlas. And the Atlas designation, you're going to keep seeing Atlas because that's the satellite that once they discover an object and it gets titled, like they have the right to name it. So it's confusing. You'll see like 3I Atlas, and then you'll see like Atlas 2025C and Atlas this and that. So that's 3I Atlas.
It's all coming from the Atlas.
Yeah, so what's
Like
been going on, and there's a lot of like sensationalism on YouTube and a lot of disinformation, but it's an object that is not behaving like anything that we've seen. It's like a huge anomaly, the way it's behaving, and it's supposedly a massive object, and it like has basically like changed its trajectory from like non-gravitational influence, which is, when you start factoring in its mass and the change of course, it's like you would need some kind of like I don't know, force, like and not just some kind, you need quite a bit of force to move it out of its projected orbit or trajectory. And it's like it's just mystifying so many people, and it has this really strange, like, so most comets that come in, they have a tail, which is basically like when the comet gets close, it's basically a conglomerate of like metals and mostly like loose rock and ice, and gas. So when it starts getting close to the sun, it starts to what's called outgas. It starts to release. It's basically, as it's warming up, it's like boiling off essentially its content. And that's where you see these beautiful comet tails, which are always, by the way, going away from the sun, right? Because it's essentially the solar wind is putting pressure on it and it's sending it, back behind it. Well, in this case, this one has a tail, obviously big tail in the back, but it has a tail moving ahead of it towards the sun, which they've never seen before, which they can't explain. And I think what's driving people nuts is it has a very specific trajectory that has been almost as if to avoid viewpoint from the planet, because it's like kind of went opposite of us, and it like went right close to Mars, and then it went behind the sun, and like right now we're coming up on like the best times for us to be able to view it. But it's just like this real big, like nobody can explain it. It's kind of the way like Oumuamua was when it came in. But it's an interstellar object, which means that it basically just didn't come from our solar system. So these are objects that are somehow coming towards us that are from, probably unfathomable distances, from where we are. So it's pretty fascinating. So that's like the big thing right now.
It's like a comet.
It's like a comet, but it's not behaving like comets have very specific behavior, like I was just describing, and it's not behaving that way. Including it's
not the first. You said there's been others like this.
Well, there's been other interstellar objects, but this is really the first in terms of like the way this is behaving.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So Oumuamua was like an elongated rock essentially, and it was like it kept flashing light, and what they realized was it was like flipping over on itself, so it was reflecting light back as it was flipping over. So that was like kind of people were like, oh, is this a spaceship, whatever. But like this object is like it's completely mystified like scientists. They're just like they don't understand it.
That's the thing scientists love.
Well, yeah, and it's like, because these are, it's nice when things don't behave exactly the way you expect them, because now you got to learn, right? It's like, well, okay, this is a new thing that like we've never, interpreted before. Hang on one second.
We're going to wrap up here soon, folks. I'm going to play the Not Lost song. It's one of my favorites, and I think one of Frank's personal best.
But yeah, no, so that's the big thing in space, but I can nerd out about that stuff for a while. Oh, and then the other thing that kind of messed things up, Jeff, is that the government shut down, like the timing was really interesting, because like it was coming really close to Mars, and we have a lot of assets on Mars that we can turn cameras on and get images back, so give us a little bit more information. And of course the government shutdown prevented NASA from releasing that information during that time. Now they are releasing images, but again, it's like they're I forget the specific warning that they released, but it was like essentially like the first time we've like alerted like the possibility of like an object coming in that might be something of intelligence. You have to look up the specific warning that was released, but it's like they're definitely like not sure what's going on, because the way it's behaving, it really has never, there's nothing that has behaved like this before. So they're basically defaulting to, hey, it has to be, like the only way to explain how this mass is moving off of its course is it's got to be intelligent, or it's got to be something doing it. Now, I personally think that maybe just the content of the object is like maybe like different than they think, and then it's maybe behaving that way. It might be just something that we just don't understand yet, but it is weird. There's a lot of stuff that's very strange about it, but I guess we'll learn. We're getting a good view of it in the next I think we're really coming up right now as far as like the best time to view it, so we'll see if we can.
Can we see it from the United States?
Yeah, we should be able to we should be able to see it pretty soon. I thought actually we were coming up on right around this time where it was supposed to be available to see. I think you'll be able to see it. Like, you might need some kind of like binoculars to be able to see it. And it's going to be
Or a telescope.
yeah. Well, I say binoculars because like the average person can just like, you know, check it out. You know, you don't have to go out and buy a telescope, or if you don't have one, you're not out. Like that. So there's been like 2 or 3 comets that have come through that, like, you know, you can barely see with your eyes, but then man, what you lock on it with binoculars and it's like unbelievable. But yeah, let me see what the thing is here. But yeah, if you want to wrap up, do your thing, play whatever you want, and we'll get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna wind down and head over to Shift Happens eventually. I think I dropped her channel in the chat, folks. She's doing a birthday stream later. Should be lots of fun. They want to hear the Not Lost song, so we're gonna go out on that. Well, is there anything you want to leave us with on your way out?
For those that want me to get a haircut, can we put my Cash App in the?
I was about to say, but monetize that.
Wait, you don't like my top knot? What's wrong with that?
Frank doesn't. I think Frank just wanted you off the stream so he could hear his music.
Who's Frank?
You don't know Frank?
No.
He's the one that makes all the cow and chicken music.
Lord. Well, excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt the cow and chicken music. My bad. That's cool.
No, you're always welcome here. You know that.
No, I know. But yeah, no, I admittedly, like, there's a lot I need to learn as far as, like, you know, deeply invested in more of like what's going on. But to be honest with you, bro, I kind of just like, I'm getting checked out on just all the stuff that's going on. It's just too much information. Every time I sit in front of my computer, it's like there's just so much info coming in, and I'm like, I'm just trying to like be smart about like what I'm taking in. It's like, do I want to like have stuff that like is not going to affect me on a daily basis, take up a lot of space and emotion in my brain, or do I want to like invest in like things that are just going to make me happy and make me grow and like, you know, just, you know, give me genuine interest. So I'm starting to get away from like a lot of there's just too much stuff out there, and especially this whole like Charlie Kirk thing and Candace Owens and Jesus.
Oh yeah, I keep avoiding all of that.
Yeah, it's just a lot, dude.
Little snatches of it. It sounds crazy.
Yeah, and that's on the same topic. I mean, it was like, you know, Charlie was starting to kind of go down that route, and that's fueling, you know, as far as being like anti-Zionist, and that's what's fueling a lot of this too, is because like, you know, there's now conspiracy theories saying that like that because he was going that route that somebody popped him off now. So, you know what I mean? So that's why it's like these things are fueled by that. You know, it's like something like an assassination that people see. It just like, I don't know. It's like a spark of a fire that like I don't necessarily want to burn. But
what how are you filtering your sources? What method do you use?
What do you mean specifically?
Like you said, you have all this information coming out, and you have to get better at filtering it and being more intentional about what you consume.
Right. So like I have like I don't really do a ton of social media. I'm actually like I might have like X for like one perspective. Obviously, like I get a lot of my information from you know, independent reporting, but you know, different like Devori Darkins and Mark Dice and you know,
heard of him.
Yeah, there's like a lot.
I used to follow him. Let me take a look.
Yeah. There's a
like
million
YouTubers.
Yeah, because like that's really like, you know, it's hard to, you know. Oh, and then the other thing is to navigate that information, I use SAN, which is Straight Arrow Network, which is basically powered by Ground News, which is a way to take the news articles and then you know, have them like basically it gives you a barometer of how things are covered. So
I've used I used to use Ground News a lot when we do our political on here. So they have their own. Straight Arrow News is the same people.
So Straight Arrow News is an independent app that delivers news content, but it uses Ground News as the underlying supplier. So it outsources its it's I don't know how to describe it, but like if there's a news article and then they'll say, okay, here's how far right sources are covering it, here's how moderate sources, here's how left, and then it tells you on each article how many basically media companies are reporting on it, and where do they lean politically, and then how is this news relevant to current events, and it just really gives you a great quick 5-10 minute way to digest something without having it be like I don't have to watch like Fox News and CNN and Newsmax and MSNBC to try to get a barometer on it. This thing does it for you and allows it to be more independent. So but there's that. But like then I just have a lot of like stuff like science content. I'm into like a lot of tech stuff. Cars. It's just a lot, dude. Like when I sit in front of my computer, it's just like there's just so much to consume.
Oh my god! I used to be like that years ago, and it was mostly Twitter and stuff like that. That I had a feed that I had all these sources plugged into, and I would just consume my feed all day long.
Do you still you have X
I still have it. I hardly ever look at it now. I look at the Google headlines and I pick like the top 2 or 3 that read a little bit of the paragraphs of the stories to get a sketch of what's going on. That's as much news as I consume.
So where did you find I was going to ask you this. Where did you find Charlie? Like what is
That's ChatGPT.
So it's just ChatGPT and then Charlie.
Yeah.
Did you name Charlie, or is Charlie like the actual name?
That's what I call it.
Okay, got it. And are you paying for that, or is it just like a free tool?
I just recently started with the paid version because I've been using it so often. It was finally worth it. It wasn't worth it to me before because I didn't use it enough, but now
why is it worth it?
Enough to make it worth it. So I don't know if the voice feature comes with the paid version or if everybody has access to it.
Got it.
It's just the voice feature.
It sounds like the voice feature is probably something you have to pay for.
And they do cap it. You only get a certain amount of time with him a day with voice.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Okay, well, it's interesting because I will say, I've listened to you like ask him questions, and it really does like a good job of giving you like kind of like a as neutral as possible explanation. But was it the guy who was called Tiki Talk? Was that the other person you had up?
Yeah, Tiki Tack.
Tiki Tack. So he seemed like really grounded and like very educated, and it almost like seemed like Tiki Tack was very much like a different version of Charlie, if you notice. Like it was like, did you notice that? Like I don't know, go back and watch it because it's like you have Charlie the way he explains it, and then if you listen to Tiki Tack or whatever, he like was very much. There's a lot of similarities there, like even the way his voice was and the way he like gave us the information. I thought that was. I was almost like not sure if he was AI for a moment.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. He'll be pleased to hear, I guess. He should pass himself.
It's a compliment, yeah. It's a veiled compliment, but a compliment at that. But yeah, it's Shift's birthday today?
Yeah.
She just turned 21?
Yeah, she does. 21 and holding. Frank, I added you too, but it disappeared. I can't find you. When I added it, it dropped off. It went so I can't find you. Try messaging me now. Y'all are so young. Oh my god, y'all are Tiki. This must be how you feel about Gen Z. How I feel about all of you.
Oh, happy birthday, Tiki Tack. That's awesome.
It's not good. I gotta tell you something. Find me. All right, we'll play the Not Lost song, and then we'll.
Did you know it was Tiki Tack's birthday?
I did not.
Is it Tiki? Is it your birthday too?
Yeah, he's 36 today.
Oh.
So salute, man. Happy birthday.
Oh, wait. Are you serious? I didn't know that. We would because it's Shift Happens birthday today too. So I thought that I didn't know that there was another birthday.
All right, for his birthday, I'm gonna give him the gift of a nice ass shot. How about that, huh? Isn't that a fucking? You're welcome. Happy birthday.
I was trying to find a little something for him, but I don't even think I have it.
That'll get clipped. Whoops.
Smack that ass. Well, I don't know, Tiki. What can I give you? Will this do?
Yeah. Oh god, it's coming down.
I don't have a button shirt on today.
Yeah. Should have came more prepared. There you go. Nice. Yep. Now I'm usually not whole unless I've seen Jeff's chest for at least about 30 seconds. So that's actually why I come here. I come here specifically for the chest shots.
I suspect it's why more people come here than we realize.
Facts. Clean my house for me. No, dude, that's something you want to take advantage of, bro. You just throw out a couple bucks, get a like a hot fucking chick to clean your house. That's a great birthday gift, dude. Take advantage of that shit, dude. There's a lot of girls out there who'll clean your house.
Or guys.
Or guys.
Or now they have a whole spectrum in between you could choose from, which is still basically girls and guys.
Whatever your deal is, it's out there. But no, there's actually like a lot of good cleaning businesses that do that, specifically. But anyways, happy birthday, and maybe we'll catch a shift for her birthday. Maybe I'll go find some trash cake for her.
Oh, he wants you to clean the house.
Oh, me? Okay. See, you see what that ass shot did? He's like, yo, I want you to clean my house.
Oh. Yes, it was. Thanks for coming up, Tiki. I think you added a lot to it.
Oh, he
had some good combos here lately.
Who was the guy that came up that was like smacking the Mac? What was that? Smacking the mic. What was that guy's name?
Mid bro life, bro logic.
Bro logic. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, he seems cool.
Oh well. There you go, Barney. Somebody thinks you're cool.
No, hey man, I like all personalities, and just because he's not, he's more of a fan of my. Look, if he's a fan of my wife, he's cool in my book, so that's all good.
I've never seen him that excited about another human being ever. That was a totally different Barney.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Sam. Dude, like a lot of people, like when I have, when I have streams, she like kind of like talks over my shoulder, and it'd be nice, like, I should have like two setups so she could sit in and bow it, but she doesn't really like. She likes to sit in the chat and like type. That's like her thing. Like being on camera and sitting down and talking over a mic. It's not like her. Like even though she's great at it, it's not her like forte. Like it expels too much energy for her. She's like she would rather just be relaxed, be in the chat, be participating.
So much anxiety.
Yeah, like even though she's got a great presence, like it's anxious being being on these things if you're not into it, But every once in a while it's nice to have her come out. So and it makes the moments that she does come out special. So. And thanks for some of the education there. By the way, I didn't realize out of the 244 years in the United States has been a country, it's only been 17 years of peace. That's fascinating to me.
Warfare is like when I study history, it's pretty much a constant. Most of my life, it's been a constant. Like the U.S. was always fighting a war. So when were you born? Like what generation are you? Millennial.
I'm a millennial. It was 87, so like late millennial.
Because even 80. So when you were very young, we were fighting the Gulf War.
Or early millennial.
Desert Storm. Yeah, all of that. And then there were minor foreign wars you hear about in the news, but they didn't really impact our lives here. And then 9/11 probably was your big major event, and the Iraq War.
Right, because I remember like I came home. It was like we were at school, and this was like it was a freshman year in high school when it happened, and I remember, you know, like literally going to school, and then like everyone like stopped everything, and they were like talking about the Twin Towers, and I didn't even know what the Twin Towers were. They said the World Trade Center. I knew what the Twin Towers were, but when they described it as the World Trade Center, I had no idea what it was. And I understand the you know, I'm getting tired with the
Implication.
the implication, like how massive, like what had just happened. And like we ended up all gathering, and like because it was a Catholic high school, so we ended up all gathering like in the where we do our service or whatever, and they're like, you know, we got to pray for everybody, and we're gonna go home early, and this and that. So and then we like, you know, I went home. It was on the bus, and I remember like you know, coming home and just like, you know, it was on the TV, and then it was a disaster. And we actually, it was sad because we lost that summer. We had spent like 2 weeks with this great family from you know, Long Island and Staten Island, and one of the guys that was there was actually a firefighter in that area, and unfortunately he died when the building collapsed. So, and like we had spent like, you know, like they come up every summer, so we knew them really well. And it was like, dude, we literally just left, like it was like August, we said goodbye to them, and then we like went to school, and then that happened, and then he died. And so it just had like such a big impact for me. And I remember the way that it was being described on the news was like, you know, like we had been at peace for a while, is the way they were describing it. We're going to be going back to war, you know. So like that's how I kind of like formulated, you know, like my idea of what was happening geopolitically, is that, you know, yeah, we were involved with stuff, but we weren't like actively like attacking another country or
So
like
y'all
fighting war.
thought y'all
Yeah.
did grow up in a world where y'all thought peace was more or less the norm,
Yeah,
and
for
we
sure.
did. Like Gen X definitely did not, and so we just take war for granted.
Yeah,
And
that makes
maybe your
sense.
generation had a different expectation
Yeah,
after a little bit of peace.
right, exactly. Because like we were growing up in that another short, you know, peacetime. Um, you know, but I guess it's like it's really relative when you start thinking about it, and then you start.
Yeah. Well, war is normal as far as I can see, and I want the United States to have that capability when they need it. I wouldn't want us to be without that.
I get it. I just don't want it to be like. I don't want us to go to war just for business. You know, I understand if it's like, you know, like we have. There's a lot going on in the world, right? And there's like you have to navigate. Like it's just like primates, man. There's like. Hold on, babe. Hold on. But like just primates in general, like they're violent creatures, right? So like I expect that like being related to them, like yeah, when you start having, you know, billions of people on a planet, that we're not going to get along, right? And we all have our societies and our structures that we've built up. Some of us longer than others, and you know they have our goals, and not all goals align, and that's going to create like just a constant movement of you know basically like geopolitical events, right? So, and that's
Yep.
going to be involved in like, you know, some countries are going to want to get assets and do things. So I get it. Like it just is what it is. It's just life, right? But I don't want to like I guess my perspective is it felt like 9/11 was like a way to like kick off uh, the war machine in a way where we could just, you know, make war a business, and not just because of like what we would get out of it, but also because of how much we would profit from it. And that just seems kind of gross to me. I don't know. That's just
Well,
mine.
it is, but it doesn't seem like that's really what happened, though. It, we're not just churning out these constant wars for profit, as far as I could see. The Iraq War was kind of a major deal.
Right, but yeah, again, but it felt like Iraq was more of like we went there because of what the Bush family wanted. You know, like that was like a vendetta that, you know, from whatever was happening with his dad, Bush's dad. So I just felt like there was like, and then you had Halliburton, you know, and then, you know, Halliburton was supplying all the, you know, it just felt weird, you know. And again, I think we should. It's nice to have aerospace companies and weapon companies that are profiting, and they give jobs to people, and it brings in revenue, and yeah, I get that. I don't want it to be like war for profit. It should be more like, like what you were kind of your perspective of like protecting our interests, not.
I
And
mean,
I'm not saying it
I haven't
is.
seen
It just
anything
it tends to feel that way. I'm not saying it is 100%. I get
that's a
that
lot of
vibe.
this is vibes. I'm learning because that's what social media does. Is it knows how to push
Mhm.
your emotional buttons, like your vibe thing. But I haven't seen any reason for me to think that the government is starting wars to profit. It doesn't.
What was it Eisenhower? You have to watch Eisenhower's speech, and I think that will lend some perspective.
I
Because
mean,
like
I trust my government and my military not to get into pointless wars. I don't see the benefit to anybody of that, but
I
I don't
think
think
that's a
they are.
good.
Like, there's
I
no
think
war, so the generals are sitting around. Where can we need some money? Where can we start the next war? That just seems cartoonish to me. Like not what we're actually doing.
I think that's a good mentality to have. In terms of like having a good healthy mentality and a good healthy viewpoint where you're not kind of going into the negative spectrum of just like looking at life in a glass half full, not half empty kind of perspective. So I don't encourage like you to like get different information. Like I feel like whatever works for you works for you. Um, but there's this speech from Eisenhower that was like it was a really like weird long speech that was like on his way out, and he was like basically warning something he's seen. He felt the need to warn the public about like the U.S. war machine, and like what he was seeing made him nervous enough to say like this is not something that we should be doing. Going into just being at war endlessly. And it was just like it's a really great speech to listen to, and he articulated it really well, and it kind of just whatever he said like basically happened. So I don't know. That's just kind of where I get formulate my opinion on it. But I don't encourage you to like lose faith in your government, if that makes sense.
And I haven't seen endless wars unless
Have
you
you
count
do you know
things
the
like
speech I'm
the
talking about?
Cold War. But that's another thing. Like we grew up with the Cold War being normal, so even if there's peace, war could break out at any second. Like we never expected that. Oh, we finally transcended war and humanity is living in peace. We grew up always knowing that enemies at any time could start something that we would have to be prepared to
Yeah,
react
I
to.
get it. Do you know what speech I'm talking about though?
No, but I could probably find it. If
Yeah,
it's
or even
famous,
if you don't even have to.
Eisenhower said. But again, that's a speech. That's not a description of reality. That's one man's
I'm not saying it is.
expression of his truth and his vision of possibility that can happen. That was what, like 50, 60, 70 years ago?
I just think
So
it's
he's not
interesting.
mapping out something that's currently like, look at what the military is currently doing. And if you don't
No,
keep them separate in your head, people can start to get the impression that, oh my God, Eisenhower is right. Look at all this stuff on social media that seems like it's happening.
no, but it's a really like it's a critical speech. It's like a kind of like a big thing, man, and you should listen to it. I think it's for two reasons. One, just to show you how articulate like a president was, like compared to our presidents today, and then just to see like I don't know, man. It was just that the way he delivered that speech was
Is it
like
his farewell address from 1961?
it is, yeah. You just
Yeah.
gotta look at it and form your own opinion. I don't want to influence you. It's worth listening to. But
It's probably not copyrighted. We could even maybe play it on stream one day.
yeah, or and ask.
I could ask Charlie to read it.
I was gonna say ask Charlie to. You could analyze it. He's probably gonna I imagine he's gonna be like, yeah, this, and basically explaining, blah blah blah. But today we can't really say that's the case. I can almost like I can get his fucking the way he
You can read it
describes things.
verbatim. He could pull it up and just read
Yeah,
it to us,
but
and it
it's
wouldn't be copyright.
no, I don't think it's I don't think the speeches you wouldn't get hit with copyright for fucking historical
not-
farewell address. No, Jesus, that'd be horrible.
All
But
right. Well,
it's really
it was
good.
Maybe we'll do speeches. One short speech a day. We'll get Charlie to read a speech, especially if it like gives us some anchor points for all these theories that show up here.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, it was good seeing you. I'm gonna play the Not Lost song for everybody, and we're gonna head over to shifts.
Word.
Oh, I did hear someone's messaging me. I did hear the BlackRock Vanguard owns everything, and I asked Charlie about that the other day, and it broke it down. It's not what you think. They don't own the stock market. So again, be careful of framing, propaganda,
No.
radicalization.
I didn't say that they own the stock
No, I'm not
market.
saying you said.
Oh, okay. I was
Someone
going to say,
in the comment. Someone had messaged me just now.
But BlackRock and Vanguard own about 20% of almost every stock, any major stock on the on the market.
And I'm thinking, so that's 80% for me to play around with. Like, why does that scare people?
No. It's not about that. It's just most people don't know that. Like, it's just an interesting thing, and then you start to like look at like.
But the only reason to know it is to start this narrative about, oh my God, the corporations are taking over our lives, and like no one has ever brought it up as, oh, here's just an interesting fact for bar trivia.
I never knew that. I like somebody basically was like, "Oh, do you know about BlackRock and Vanguard?" And then he basically took his iPad out and then showed me. He's like, "Just name a stock," and I'm like, "All right, this," and I was like, "Boom, BlackRock, Vanguard." All right, name another one, BlackRock, Vanguard, and it's just like, and then you start hearing like like the guy that shot at Trump or something like that was like in a BlackRock commercial and stuff like that. And that's why you have all this stuff out there, dude. It's like,
and then your brain starts connecting that into a story.
Right. And I'm not saying it's true or not, but it's, it's interesting. That's all.
Well, here's the T on BlackRock. Index funds, which is what these are, overall, and this is all index funds, hold around 18 to 25% of the stock market.
Exactly.
And that slice is spread across many providers, not just BlackRock and Vanguard. There's the big three, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. And they're the largest shareholders for a lot of but that usually means they hold something like 5 to 10% of a given company, not 90%. So
who's saying 90%?
20% of the market via index funds.
Well, yeah, I mean they're a big. It's like you said, it's index funds, but who's saying
now
90%?
What is true is they are the largest shareholder in more than 40% of listed firms, and in the S&P, if you treat them collectively, and they often hold 5 to 10% stakes in many companies and vote those shares. But that's not owning 90% of the stock market.
Who is saying 90%?
They have voting power on CEO pay, boards, climate resolutions, etc. They will some voting power there, and so there's some concern about that. But it's not this catastrophic. Oh my God, BlackRock owns 90% of the market and they're taking over the world.
Who is saying that? That's what I'm asking you. Who is saying
that's
90%?
The narrative? When people bring up BlackRock and Vanguard, that is in fact the AI mentioned a 90% meme. It's called the 90% meme.
It's 20%. I don't know where the 90%
people
comes
are
in.
Saying people have said on this stream they own 90% of the stock market.
Well, you could say that they have a 20%.
It says the 90% number in
90%
usually comes from they're a top shareholder in X% of big companies, and then
Right.
somebody quietly swaps top shareholder to they own the company. They do this little sleight of hand shit. So instead of being the biggest shareholder, they become somehow the owner of the company.
Interesting. Yeah, no. Well, you could say that they own a roughly 20% stake, and it's not BlackRock owns 20% stake. It's BlackRock and Vanguard, which are two associated
and
companies that
state,
are
whatever. There's the big
right.
three, and it's because they have these big index fund, like collective index fund. It's not like one individual in a room owning all the stock market. It's funds that many people and companies put their money into and compile that BlackRock manages.
And Vanguard. So
Right,
BlackRock
three.
and
But there's
Vanguard.
other companies outside of that too. But none of this is scary for people that take the time to understand what is actually going on. I think they're getting these memes and they're being like, oh my God, the rich people are taking over the world. And psychologically, at the root of that can only come from a sense of disempowerment. If you feel empowered in your own life, that shit's not even going to bother you. It's people that are already having doubts about their own power to actualize something for themselves. Frank, I'll play it right now. Hey, I got to play this song for him. I promised I'd play it before bed.
Okay.
And we got to go to shifts. So
All right.
we'll have to, as usual with our conversations, we'll have to just pick them up.
Shall be continued.
All right. It was fun, Mike.
All right, buddy.
Take care.
Later.
All right, Frank, not Laz. This is for you guys. This is a great one to end on. And then I will head over to Shifts to celebrate her birthday. One of our favorite chatters from one of our favorite artists. Play.
Every single morning I log onto my computer and there he is, not Laz, already in action. On every single forum, spilling venom. He's complaining about the sun being too bright, the cost of his internet, the way his coffee tastes. Everything under the sky he finds fault. He'll tell you your comment is stupid. Your profile picture, it is just weird. Your entire existence, a complete waste. He always has an issue, always a problem, a scowl permanently etched on his face. Even when I cannot see it, I just sense it. There's this faint, slightly suspicious smell that always seems to follow his online posts. A digital funk, you might say.
Take care, Tiki, and everyone else.
Now Laz is a poopy bum, stinky bottom. You ain't no Mick Jagger, grumpy old bastard. I tried to write a short story last week, a charming little tale filled with wonder and good vibes. My AI was prepared, so sharp and ready to find the perfect words that would flow so well. But not once he saw it, he just had to comment, posted a remark so mean, so utterly dismissive. It just
This is the best
flies
not lost
horrible,
therapy.
right through. Now it cannot match sounds, cannot find any pairs. Every sentence now just stands there all by itself. It just speaks indirect, unembellished statements. It is truly awful, this whole entire situation. My artificial intelligence, buddy, it is just ruined. Its ability to make things sound good, just gone. All because he said something horrible about its narrative structure and its general design. He just can't innovate me from his worn-out chair, especially the fact that his trousers, well, they have endured some intensely grim circumstances. I have heard! Not Laz is a poopy bum! Stinky bottom! You ain't no Mick Jagger! Grumpy old bastard! He will argue about the direction of gravity. He will argue about the considers himself so perceptive, so incredibly clever, shooting down every single idea with a sneer. But truthfully, what is he achieving? Just making everyone else feel a little bit worse. Namas is a poopy bomb! Stinky bottom! You ain't no Mick Jagger! Grumpy old bastard! Yeah, he just sits there, complaining all over again about the font used in this very song, perhaps.
Complaining all over.
Or the complete lack of appropriate vocabulary, or the way the guitar still sounds a bit off. Just a poopy bum, a stinky bottom, definitely not Mick Jagger, just a grumpy old bastard.
That was good, y'all. Whew, that is just what I needed. All right, let me see. Okay, let me drop Shiv's channel one more time, and then I'll wrap this up. And we'll head over there. Maybe there'll be panel dancing for her birthday. Yeah, I haven't felt this good. I had this much energy dancing since I was going out to the clubs as a baby gay. All right, let's see here. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, and see you tomorrow. We're going over to Shifts. I can't raid you, but I'll see you there if you want to hang out. Take care, everybody. See you soon.